play. Let's see how many times we have to hit pause. All right, we are doing it. First word I've said all morning because I've been trying to be quiet because kids were still sleeping. Mom was still sleeping. And Griffin's not feeling so hot. So I don't know if he's going to be going to school today. And anyway, I was trying to be quiet. And it feels weird to start talking when you haven't talked all morning. And sometimes when my kids are needing to go places, excuse me, I'll come out there and turn the car on like 10 minutes before so that way it's warm. It is not warm, so it's a good day I brought a good day. Good thing I brought a jacket, and we're crooked, but that's fine. Nobody cares. I had to sleep with some little tubes taped to my body, and it made me feel like an old man. I did one of those sleep study things, and I have this $2,000 device in my car that I have to return to the sleep center today. And I had to sleep with these like tubes entering my nose, and then like this little loop that hangs down. I'm assuming it does your breathing, and then it attaches to a device around my chest. I had some little O2 sensing monitor thing on my finger that was taped up, and I'm like, man, it was not fun. And a lady yesterday was like, you have to get at least 6 hours of sleep. 6 hours of sleep, that doesn't mean you lay in bed for 6 hours. That means you should be asleep for 6 hours. And if you know anything about the actual amount of sleep, you could lay down in bed for 8.5 hours, but you might only get 7 hours of sleep. With little kids, you're going to be waking up a couple times, and that definitely happened. And I think it was like 1:30, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. And Griffin had woke up, he's got a sore throat, and I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna work. I fell asleep early, but if I wake up at 1:45 and can't go back to sleep, I'm like, that's not the 6 hours. And thankfully, I went back to sleep, and it was awesome. But please know it was not fun, and I don't want to do a sleep study, but I actually do. You know, I had to pay a $150 deductible yesterday. I actually want to pay that. I want to have a sleep study done for the knowledge that it gives me. Is sleep apnea an issue? Is there something that would help you sleep better? Are you one day, possibly in the middle of the night, going to stop breathing and that be an issue? You know, as much as I didn't want to pay the $150, I want to make sure I'm taking care of myself. As much as I don't like waking up early, jumping on the treadmill, whatever it is, I need to do that for me. I just recently, with Uncle Ryan and I, been doing a lot of meal prepping, meal planning. Got a couple meals in a plastic container, and it's high in protein, low in carb. It's not a ton of fun to prep, but once you prep for it, you are set up. And I think a lot of being an adult is doing things you don't want to do. And I talked about it yesterday, where on my drive to school yesterday, I was like, I am doing it. I am being the adult that these high schoolers are talking about. Hey, when I grow up, I want to have this. I've got a cool job. I've got a great little family. I've got a cool little house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. But it is a whole ton of work, but it's fantastic work. But I think as adults, we have to do a lot of things that we don't really want to do to maximize the life we want to live, I guess, you know? We've talked about it before, but if you always do the thing that you want to do, which is typically the easy thing, not much in life is going to happen to you, happen for you. My students yesterday were applying for jobs, and there were some kids that submitted their application, emailed, sent the resume, and just hit send and sat there in their seat. And I had their stuff, but then there were other kids that were interviewing. There were other kids that were coming up to me saying, hey, I'd like to drop off my application. My name's Sal, and if you check your email, I've emailed you over my resume. I'm here and I'm ready for an interview. Do you have a moment? Heck yes, I do, Sal. Have a seat, you know? There were people that were getting out of their comfort zone yesterday, and they were getting put into positions before the kids that were doing the work, filling out the job application, but then just kind of sitting at home not doing much. And there were some people's emails that went clicked, and I read them and then forgot to circle back, and that happens too. So what do you do a week later after applying for a job when you haven't heard back? It's okay to do the uncomfortable thing and stop by, reintroduce yourself, let them know you applied or interviewed a week ago and you still haven't heard back and you just wanted to know. That shows you were being proactive, and I think that is what I am trying to do as a big timer 40-year-old. Just trying to be proactive about the health of my 40-year-old body and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I really am wanting to work on my sleep. Kids talk about, oh, I don't need that much sleep. I'll sleep when I die. And please know I've said those words. I am with you. But every being on this planet, every animal, which Griffin has to remind me, well, that isn't true for trees. Anyway, every animal needs sleep. And the better sleep you get, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the better typically your days are. But you have to control that. You know what I mean? That's something you have to be proactive about. And the easy, fun thing to do is to stay up late and watch an additional movie or two. But what are you doing to yourself, you know? It is what it is. Last thing I will say is on Monday and Tuesday we were introducing ourselves, and we were standing up in front of the group and introducing ourselves, reintroducing ourselves to the class as an employee would if they were new to a group. And we had somebody be in the checker for how many times they say how many times they say like. And there's a thing called Toastmasters that you pay for, and it's a group of people that want to help you become a better public speaker. And it's a service you pay for, and you actually go to these meetings and give presentations, and you have people look at your posture, look at what your hands are doing, look at all the additional things. And so it wasn't just introduce yourself, it was introduce yourself as if you are actually an employee at this job. And it was a real conversation of, hey, student, you are one of the smartest kids in here, but you are so softly spoken that not many people are going to pick up what you're saying. And sadly, the loud guy in the back who does not deserve the job is going to get the job because he can do a better job introducing himself. Hi, my name is Kyle. I am 40. I'm from Bakersfield. This is what I do. This is what I'm up to. And we practiced it again and again. And we looked at what our hands are doing, and we tried to correct. And there may have been someone in the room that says a whole ton. I'm talking 37 times in like a 3-minute span. And as tough as that is to hear, I want to be the one that corrects them in high school. You know what I mean? If you don't learn something in high school, when do you learn it? Someone's got to tell you. And I learned this from my mom. If I've got a booger sticking out of my nose right here, you better tell me, rather than letting me walk around with my fly undone with the toilet paper stuck to my shoe, man. Let me know. And so with these kids, July 1st, they forget about me and they don't talk to me anymore. And I want to help correct them out of love and say, hey man, you are awesome, but here's how you can improve. Here is my honest feedback. Because you're in high school, and because I want to correct this, because I don't want you to be like me, leaving high school unprepared. And anyway, real work's getting done, and these kids are trying hard, and today's going to be their first day of accomplishing a task on their own, and it's going to be fun. So keep getting out of your comfort zone. Cannot tell you that enough. Keep doing the hard thing. Keep prioritizing yourself. Keep making sure that you're going to be the best version of yourself. And don't stop. Even when you're 40, don't stop, I'm going to keep on rolling. Grandpa Coolman, which is great Grandpa Coolman to my littles, is turning 90 next month. And that is awesome. Maybe when you're 90, I'll let you start taking it easy on yourself, stop prioritizing yourself, but probably not. Now that I think about it, probably not. Anyway, rock your Wednesday. I'm done. I'm over it. You don't have to listen to me anymore.